Restless nights and countless night terrors have given Sans dark, heavy circles around his eyes. Because the MercyVerse takes place after dozens upon dozens of resets, Sans remembers each and every one. He remembers Chara going on her countless killing sprees, destroying every single one of his friends with the slash of her knife. His constant nightmares consist of these horrifying flashbacks, the most prominent one being his brother getting killed. Sans has developed PTSD from the traumatic events of the past, and the terrifying nightmares have given him insomnia. Of course, no one else knows about the events of the past besides Chara and Frisk. Sans will often have fits where he will cry for hours on end in the comfort of his bedroom. When around his friends, he will act happy and carefree, trying not to let them see through his facade. When alone, however, he will often burst into tears, screaming and crying about how scared he is that the events of the past will happen again. No one has seen him do this. Sans gives excellent advice to anyone that is feeling down, though he does not listen to his own advice. He loves to help others and rarely, if ever, focuses on himself and his own needs. This has put more stress on him than before, though he doesn't realize it. Though Sans does suffer from mental problems, he will always try to lighten the mood of any situation. He loves to crack his puns, as per usual, and even makes himself laugh on occasion. Relationships. Chara. Sans does not get along with Chara very well. In fact, he practically loathes her. He has not forgiven Chara for her terrible acts of genocide, nor does he think he ever will. Chara does not favor Sans either, mostly because of his constant attempts of trying to murder her. Because of this mutual hatred, Frisk is uncomfortable being in the same room with both of them. Though they do not vocalize their hate, it is evident in the way the mood shifts. Frisk. Sans treats Frisk like his son, always toying with him and being playful. In the cracks of the terrifying flashbacks, he will very rarely catch a glimpse of the good times with Frisk when he was a child. In these flashbacks, the two will be seen together, having fun and laughing, hugging, napping, and even just talking. Of course, being a child, Frisk wasn't as attentive as he is as a teenager, but talking with him still brought Sans immense joy. Papyrus. Papyrus, of course being Sans's brother, gets along with him extremely well. Despite being complete opposites, the two love each other with all of their hearts. Sans protects Papyrus with everything he's got, willing to sacrifice himself in an instant to save his little brother. Sometimes, however, Papyrus will take the role of big brother and care for Sans when they are alone. When on the couch, he will cradle Sans and hug him, whispering to his big brother about how everything is okay. Despite his insomnia, this helps Sans get to sleep rather quickly, and he is very grateful for his little brother. Though he will never admit how much he loves being put to sleep by Papyrus, because that would be much too embarrassing. Alphys. Sans and Alphys were closest when he worked in the lab with her all those decades ago. However, since those days, they have somewhat drifted apart. Alphys does not blame Sans for this, but does get slightly disheartened when she tries to talk to him, and all they get out of the conversations are small talk. Despite knowing of her immense knowledge on the matter of souls and mental state, Sans never decides to discuss his PTSD with Alphys. He does not wish to burden her with such nonsense, as he would put it, nor does he want her going to their friends about his trouble. Undine. Undine gets along much better with Papyrus than Sans, but she does enjoy being playful with the shorter skeleton from time to time. Though he cannot always keep up with her level of enthusiasm and energy, mostly from being so tired all the time. Undine will often tease Sans about being so lazy, and Sans will laugh and joke with her, ignoring the jolts of pain he gets from hearing such words. He is very tough, but his trauma has caused his resiliency to slowly deteriorate. Toriel. Sans looks up to Toriel, thinking of her as much more than the former queen of the underground. He admires her strength and determination, and he wishes he could get to the same mental level as her. Sans treats Toriel like his mentor and tries to follow in her footsteps as much as he can. Toriel cares for Sans just as much as he cares for her. Though she doesn't know what goes on inside his head, she tries to help him however she can when she sees he's having a hard time. Sans appreciates this, and Toriel is the only monster he has gotten closest to telling about his mental issues. Even then, he still doesn't open up to her, though he wishes he could. Flowey. Sans and Flowey try to steer clear of each other out of respect for their mutual hatred for one another. However, despite their best efforts, they will sometimes end up in the same room. When this happens, they won't speak to each other, or even acknowledge the other's presence for that matter. The others have decided to respect them, and do the best they can to keep them from interacting in any way possible. Sans has not interacted with Asgore or Azrael nearly enough to have relationships with them.